Come on. Go live, go live. It says I'm live. Ooh, if you do bring up the thing on the Chromebook, that's fine. Just make sure it's muted, because otherwise you're going to hear me. Hello, peoples. All right. Okay, I got 7 people in the chat right now. Okay. I'm using the microphone today because I want to go over there at various points during the lesson, and I want it to follow me because I can't, So I'm going to ask you guys in the chat. I need to know what position works best with holding this microphone. This is a rock band microphone. You all should be proud of me. But I need to know what position works best. So for those of you in the chat, because obviously you're the ones listening to it, I'm going to give you 3 choices, and I'm going to number them 1, 2, and 3. So this is number 1. Number 1 is right up underneath my chin. If you can hear me clearly, you don't have to answer just yet, but you have to be able to hear me clearly, know that I'm not yelling or something like that. Option 2 is when I hold it down a little bit farther like this. Just need to know whether that works best. And then option 3 is when I keep it on the desk right there and I speak from a distance. So in the chat, which option works best? Underneath the chin, a little bit down like this, or on the desk. So the chin would be 1, a little bit down would be 2, and then on the desk would be 3. You give me your answers in the chat. Hopefully they'll actually answer. I should have checked to see if they could hear me. Oh, somebody did respond. Cool. That's awesome. All right. What am I getting over here? Good. So at various points, I have the thing over there. I may be teaching lessons from right here. And if I'm teaching lessons from right here, that means that I have to be able to access the chat from time to time. And if I'm accessing the chat, I don't want to bring it up on this computer because I'm going to be doing other stuff on here. Haha. Oh, wait, no, that was Propstet. That was this morning. Crikey. Now I gotta find this thing. Google Classroom. You guys do me a favor. I know you already did, but open your Chromebooks, log in. Make sure that the link works. Where are we? This is A-Day. Link. There it is. Yes, excellent. Excellent. Okay. So we got a 3, 3, 3, and 1. Real? Okay. A little split. So some people prefer it on the desk. Some people prefer it underneath my chin. Whatever. Y'all can hear me clearly. That's good. This whole thing, we're literally flying by the seat of our pants. I installed this microphone this morning, and I'm literally still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out if I can get my, I have a Bluetooth, what are those called, earbuds? I'm trying to figure out to get it paired with it's not actually a Chromebook, but I'm trying to get it paired with the laptop so that I can just have it here and not have to hold anything and just be able to talk. If only. We'll figure that out.
Wait, did you say you want us to join the live stream?
If you, just to see if it works, You don't have to do this all the time. You don't, okay? You absolutely do not have to do this all the time. If you're in class, you don't have to be in the chat at all. I'm saying if you want to, just a little thing there. So, let's see. Okay, good. All right, now here's the goal for today. Algebra 2. There was no summer math because of circumstances. I need to know where everybody is in terms of your mathematics skills. So, in a moment, and you had at home, you're in the, whatever. Oh no, my connection's unstable. Did I freeze on the computer? Am I back? Yeah, awesome. What I need you guys to do, I need you to get ready a scrap piece of paper, and I need you to have something to write with in order to do that scratch work with. The second thing I need you to do, on your Chromebooks, do you have access to the TI-84 calculator app? You should. Here's what I want you to do. Go to Google, type in TI calculator extension Chromebook or something along those lines and see if you can install that. Because unfortunately, I cannot provide for you graphing calculators. I have to turn them into the library. But I was told that the TI-84 calculator extension should be available to you. So again, for those of you who are at home right now, check to make sure that you have that app. For you guys in the classroom, I'm going to give you a minute to see if you can kind of get that going. But you need the app ready, and you need to dig out a scratch piece of paper and something to write with, because I'm going to be giving you guys a quizzes. This quizzes obviously doesn't count against you, but this quizzes is mainly for me. I need to know where you're at. I need to know what are your mathematical skills. I need to know all that stuff. And the quizzes isn't going to definitively tell me all of it, but it will give me a great idea as to where everyone is at this moment. The scratch piece of paper is yours. You're going to keep it. I'm not collecting it from you. I'm going to collect as little physical paper to get this going. So again, if you guys can get that app going at home, if you haven't already, I'm going to get the quizzes up so you can see what you need to log into. I think it's a part of like the Google Chrome like Play Store or something like that.
Just go like it's on the homepage.
It's on the, oh, it is?
Yeah.
Dude, okay, let's go to the homepage. So like, minimize that real quick. Oh, down at the bottom, see the calculator?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to see what it looks like. Excellent. So I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, can you like type in numbers, like type them in and they show up on the calculator?
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, it's gonna be so much easier. Nice, 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 nice. 1,000 times nice. Good. This is what it's all about. Okay, so I want to start a collab quiz. I need your real names because I need to know who you are. I'm only gonna have, you gotta log in to quizzes using your school email. Just for, yeah, should I do that? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna throw that up there. Because this doesn't count, I'm going to throw the leaderboard up there. Should I? Yeah, I'm gonna throw the leaderboard up there for funsies. Bring that over here. There we go. Now, for those who are in the chat, you probably can't see the code because it's being blocked. You guys can't really see it right now, but it's being blocked by this giant circle of a ball of light. So I'm going to write it up here. It should be 839529. Make sure that you log in using your Barnegat Schools ID or Barnegat Schools email, I should say. What am I talking about? By doing that, it should pop up your real name when you're able to do that. So I need everybody to log in right there. Go to joinmyquiz.com, 839529. For those who are in the chat, does this sound weird when I do this? Is this like some kind of ASMR junk? Am I doing it right? I don't know. I've seen those videos and it's the creepiest thing in the world. Just the creep. You ever see those videos where like they have like the microphone where it's like 2 ears? You know what I'm talking about? It's so creepy. I'm sorry. All right, so far we got 5 logged in. Let's get logged in, guys. Let's see what we can do with that. Go to joinmyquiz.com. I need to see what you can do here. Just for the sake of argument, you're all 6 feet away from each other for the most part, obviously. In terms of like, because people need like drinks of water, like I'm talking most of the day and stuff like that. Obviously, you're at your desk, just kind of like, do it discreetly. I'm usually gonna, like, if I'm gonna drink or eat anything, I'm not gonna eat anything in class, but if I'm gonna drink anything, I'll probably just make sure that I'm away from you guys and do something like this. Oh, and just kind of go from there, but I'm gonna try and keep my distance when something like that happens. Where are y'all in the chat? Where are y'all logged in? I got 12 people in the chat. I'm assuming like 6 of them are you guys, right? Here come more people. For some of them, yeah. For some of them, yes. Just want to make sure you guys know those available to you. Having that extension with the calculator is so stinking nice. Just so you know. Now, while people are finishing logging in, we're going to get this started in about a minute, but I want to give you some ground rules for this. I want you to take your time. There are roughly 20 questions. Some questions literally might just take you 15 seconds. Cool, fantastic. Some questions might take you a few extra minutes. Ultimately, yep, most people might just end up guessing or some junk like that, but I want you to try these problems to the best of your ability, because again, this does not count against you. I need to know where you're at. Typically, that's what summer math would do. It would tell me where you're at, but we don't have summer math. Oh, goodness, Algebra 2. Remember Algebra 1, when y'all learned like lines, and it was all like lines, and you drew lines and junk like that? And then geometry, you're like, ooh, something different, triangles and circles, and you do like proofs and stuff like that. Like, like what do they call, like a contrapositive or no, converse? No. Yeah. Well, I was thinking like if this, then that, and then if you switch them, whatever, like random junk like that. And you're like, this is so weird. I hate geometry, but I like it. I don't know. Then you get to Algebra 2, and then you realize, oh, crap. Math sucks, you know. Can't see the code. I'm sorry. Code's up here. I wrote it up here for the, whatchamacallit, for the ones on online who can't see it. It is 839529. 839529. Algebra 2 is the catch-all. Algebra 2 is like, hey, remember all the stuff you didn't learn in Algebra 1? It's coming back. It's coming back in a big way. Okay, so it looks like I got 13 people in. 14 in the chat. That's weird. Maybe I'm one in the chat. I don't know, whatever. But we're going to get this thing started. So again, take your time. Scratch a piece of paper. I'm not collecting the scratch piece of paper, but I want to see what you can do. When we are done with this, I would like to go over some of the more important problems that I see issues with. Again, don't worry about how good or bad you do. Don't worry about how long it takes you to get a problem done. We're going to get it done. We're going to take roughly a half an hour on this thing. And again, I say roughly because it depends. Anyway, here we go. I hope that freaks people out. Lower my volume. Oh, yeah. Oh. I'm sorry. I live in my head. I do have eraser pens. I can break those out. Basically, as long as you guys are not a private area there, you get whatever you need. Okay, so I'm gonna go find those eraser pens.
So we get lunch like next period, right? It's not this one.
Correct. That's, I, yeah, they're changing some of the procedures, but like, that should be the beginning. Hopefully. there's still some people working right now, which is perfectly fine. There are people online, people in the classroom, whatever. If you're done, go to your Google Classroom. I just assigned something for you to access your online textbook. In the assignment on Google Classroom, there is a class code that you will need and an access code, but the access code is in the PowerPoint. So open the PowerPoint, go through it step by step. It's going to walk you through it. Now, mind you, do this only if you're done with this. Do the textbook only if you're done with the quizzes. But try to see if you can go through the steps to access your online textbook. Let's see how successful this can actually be, because I've never tried this all in one shot. Which class code? Yeah, it was in the assignment.
Oh, yeah.
Not in the PowerPoint. It was in the there's class code. Google Classroom assignment. So I think that one. You go back to Google Classroom. Go to the top. Classroom. Online textbook. And then go. Remember, for those in the chat, the class code that you need for the online textbook is in the Google Classroom assignment. The access code is in the PowerPoint that was created. If you have any questions, of course, throw those questions into the chat. If you were able to get into the textbook, I'd like to see. Click ebook. For this online textbook, there are going to be various times during the year in which I am going to assign you guys to read a section or assign you problems, of course, to get done. And anytime I give you like a page number or a chapter to read, it's going to be in reference to this online textbook. It's actually really sweet. It's like just so much easier than just passing out 100 textbooks. And if you were successfully, and I'll say this for everyone in the chat too, just like the Google Classroom assignment says, if you were able to successfully access the textbook, then on Google Classroom, just click submit that you did the assignment. And we'll kind of go from there. Obviously, this is the online textbook isn't due to access until Tuesday of next week. I just want to try and get as many done as I can now. Let's take a look. Questions. There we go. I'll be able to kind of go to those in a moment. So, ladies and gentlemen of the classroom and the chat, we're going to take a look through some of these questions. My goal is to go through the questions that are definitely marked in red first, and then to go through as many of the ones marked in yellow as best we can. When we do go through these questions, this is going to be the first thing that I do ask you and require you to write down into said notebooks. Now, in terms of notebooks, my general rule of thumb is that if I'm writing it down on the board or underneath the Elmo camera, then it is noteworthy. And we should be writing that down as well. If I'm just verbalizing something, then by all means, it's your option as to whether or not you write that thing down. Just a reminder again, the online textbook, if you did not get it done today, that is perfectly fine. You can get that done another time. It is not due until Tuesday for you to access the online textbook. It is going to save, man, this is going to save generations on like back problems, I think. You know those kids in like middle school that carry like every book in their backpack? Yeah, it's just super funny because it's just like they'll fall over. Anyway, cool. So for those of you in the chat, if you don't already have a notebook out, please have those notebooks out and open. I know you guys do because I can see it right here, but please, let's go get a fresh page and let's see what we can do with this problem or with these problems. Let's bring this back here. I seriously feel like I'm running in a podcast right now. I mean, I would assume that everyone here would like subscribe to my podcast if I had one. Okay, I only had a few heads nodding yes. That's disappointing. Let's see what we got here. Oh, nope, get rid of that. Nope. There it is. That music has to stop. Okay, so typically the way that I do things, and you're going to see this in a moment, is, come on, paper. I have an Elmo camera at my desk. And I like to, oh, goodness. It's going to do it again, isn't it? Go away. Go away. This music keeps playing and it's annoying me. There we go. So typically I have this Elmo camera right here. And I'm going to zoom out right here and you can see that. And you in the chat can see me moving that piece of paper into place. I could bring the microphone with me wherever I want. You can see my little Bengal tiger kind of in the corner, kind of poking his little eye out. What's the name of that artist that would like paint happy little trees? Yeah, that's what I kind of feel like I'm doing right here. But it's with math. But math is art. Anyway, so for those of you in the chat, I can see your chat right here. You can't see it, but here, Inception. I have the chat open right here, so I can see exactly what you're saying since I'm not by the laptop. But let's kind of see what we got here. So, okay, questions. Let's start with question number 9 here. Oh, goodness. Okay, when something like this happens, I really hope the correct answer was actually selected in quizzes. But it looks like only one of you got this particular question right. So let us write this down. Today is the 8th. I'm always going to typically give you notes in terms of the date. And this is going to be the quizzes review of Algebra 2. I'm always going to give you some kind of a title. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. Haha. I'm always going to give you a date and a title. I'm going to be flipping back and forth between these screens. Again, this is going to be somewhat new for me. And again, I do apologize for the glare that some of you may see on the online chat. I'm going to try and work around that as best as possible. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. So click. The question is, they wanted the equation that has a slope of -2/7 and contains the point 5, -6. That's all the information I need. I'm not actually going to write down the responses just yet. Just for the sake of argument, if you can see the different choices that they have up on the board for this problem, it's not in slope-intercept form. It's actually in a different form of a linear equation called point-slope form. Point-slope form. Point-slope form is not used most of the time. Most of the time, you're going to be in slope-intercept form. But let's just see what happens. For the sake of argument, here's point-slope form. Point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Oh, thank you. This is a brand new thing. I haven't had to go back and forth like this like ever. So this is like the first time I'm ever trying stuff like this. So let's see here. Now, point-slope form, again, is very similar to slope-intercept form. It still has a slope. It still has an x. It still has a y. It just looks a bit different. They want an equation that has a slope of -2/7 and contains that point. Yeah, I'm just double-checking that I got it right. So what I would do if I was doing this problem, the point that they gave me is my x1, x2. Or I'm sorry, x1, y1. What am I saying? That is my x1, y1. That's the point that they gave me. So from there, zoom in a little bit more so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. I'm just going to plug and chug at this point. Y minus -6 equals -2/7, parentheses, x minus 5. I'm literally just plugging in those numbers where they suggest that they go. The 5 goes in for the x1. The -6 goes in for the y1. But keep in mind, subtracting a negative should be a positive. So this really should be y plus 6 equals -2/7, parentheses, x minus 5. if I were to switch over to the multiple choice responses, it looks like my answer should have been this one. Yep, and it was the first one. That type of question is based on the fact that you know point slope form. But the thing is, point slope form is taught in Algebra 1, and then I don't think you ever see it in geometry. Is that fair? Yeah, I don't think you ever see it in geometry. And I got to tell you, the only teachers to use point slope form past Algebra 1, maybe your Algebra 2 teachers to review it, and if you're going to go into like trig and pre-calc and calculus, that's where you really need point slope form. Mr. Markey, then why do they teach us this in Algebra 1? I don't know. Maybe it's on a state test. Maybe it's going to be a benchmark. I don't know. They teach you all sorts of stuff that you're never going to use, right? I teach you about life. No, I really don't. I teach you about math. But math is life. I'm going off on a tangent. Another math term. Okay, nobody gets me. Anyway, let's go to number 20. Looks like Tuya got this one right. This was number 9, and I'm about to write down number 20. I'll switch the camera back in a moment. Oh no, my cord! He's pulling my microphone. You can't see it, but he's pulling my microphone. Anyone listen to NPR? Okay, weirdos. All right. They want you to, number 20, and I'll show you this in a minute, simplify 1 over -4 to the -2 power. I'm going to flip that back. Yeah. There it is right there. Simplify that problem. That's what they're asking you to do for number 20. So I'm looking at something like number 20, and they want me to simplify that junk. The answers that they gave you, or the choices that they gave you, you can see there's no decimals. It's either fractions or it's just like a whole number. Haven't showed you the answer, but again, only 2 of you got this one right. 2 of you. So let's see. When I have a negative exponent, and we're going to focus on this a little bit later on in the year, of course, when we get to that chapter. But when you have a negative exponent, you are to take the reciprocal of the base. And if you take the reciprocal of that base, it turns the exponent positive. That's the simplest way that it could be explained. You take the reciprocal of the base, and it turns the exponent positive. So if I were to take the reciprocal of 1 over -4, that would just become -4 over 1, which I don't have to do the over 1. But then I just said that if you took the reciprocal, it would turn the exponent positive. I'm not done with the problem. That's just the first main step. You take the reciprocal of the base and you turn the exponent positive. There's other ways of explaining that in like a little bit more convoluted kind of. Yes, that was English. But now I got to evaluate this thing. Now keep in mind that -4 is in parentheses. If I square negative, it should turn positive. There's your 16. And that's what the answer was. That's exactly what the answer was. All these problems. Let me see the all shows. So if I click back here, Chapow. Yep, there it is, 16. It was split between the 1 over 16 and the -1 over 16. That's interesting. Maybe because you thought you had to square the bottom, but you didn't realize with the negative. Yeah, negative exponents. I love negative exponents. You're going to find that there's not much stuff about math that I don't love. It's pretty much going to be like, hey, we're getting to this topic. I love that topic. Why did they let me teach this? Anyway. So those were the 2 red ones. Let me kind of see here now. Will it tell me? Nope, go back. Okay, let me just kind of scroll through and just see what we got here. 7 and 9, 8 and 9, 7 and 8. See if there's worse than 7 out of 9. No, we did that one. No. It's 8. Oh, he did it again. All right, let's go to number 1. Yep, now get out of that. There we go. Let's go to number 1 right here. I'm going to write this down on a piece of paper in a moment. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Somebody tells me, Mr. Markey, you're wasting all these trees. To which I say, I could always go plant a new one. Nobody gets me. I don't know. Anyway, well, a function is defined as this. This was number 1. Again, I'm writing this down. You at home are writing this down as well. Negative 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. And they are asking, what is f of negative 1? I'll bring it over on the board right now. Chapow. Oh, no. Come on. There it is. Nailed it. Function notation is not something that we typically see in real life, but function notation is something that is incredibly helpful. There is an input and there is an output. It is computer language. That's what function notation really is. There are numbers that you are allowed to input into the function, and there's a certain set of numbers that you are allowed to get out of the function. With function notation, again, it's very strange. It's like imagine a machine that paints cars. You have a car go into the machine, and you pour in a bucket of yellow paint. What comes out is a yellow car. You input the yellow paint, and what outputs is a yellow car. That's function notation right there. It's very weird. Then the next day, you go back to the machine, you pour in orange paint, and what do you expect is going to come out? Orange car. Yes, that's a function that works. That's a function that follows the rules that it is designed to do. But then one day, you come up and you pour in purple paint. Now, you know what you expect. But if you pour in purple paint and you're supposed to get a purple car, but let's say like a white car comes out, oh crap, the function's broken. Ugh. There are equations that we can define to be not functions. And we're going to deal with that. Again, we're going to deal with that as time goes on. But for right now, let's talk about this function notation. Again, there's an input and an output. The input for this particular problem, and I'll kind of write this down. The input for this particular problem is negative 1. Negative 1 is being put into this function. That is what's being shoved into this function. Again, math is kind of violent. Think about a number being shoved into a function. It just sounds unnatural. But that's what's happening. It's being shoved in for the x. And as a result, you would shove in this negative 1 for all the other x's. Now, I know the common mistakes that happen. With this problem. People sometimes don't replace the x. Sometimes people don't bother to use parentheses. Sometimes people mix up their operations. Take it a step at a time. I shove that negative 1 in, and now I got to follow everyone's favorite Aunt Sally, PEMDAS. I got to follow PEMDAS at this point. Parentheses, well, negative 1, there's nothing to do. Exponents, I have to square this negative 1 to make it a positive 1. This will become a positive 1. Now, I'm not going to take any shortcuts right here. I'm just going to go through like this. That's now a positive 1. And now I'm ready to perform the rest of the calculation. I'm taking this slow, mainly because it looks like more than half of you got this wrong. So I'm just making sure I do my due diligence with this problem. Multiply. And then finally, add and subtract. Negative 3 plus negative 2 minus 5 more should give you negative 10. Oh, you can't see it. Zoom back. There it is. Which means, by definition, f of negative 1 equals negative 10. F of negative 1 equals negative 10. Negative 1 is the input. Negative 10 is the output. If this function were to be graphed, which, do I have a calculator? Yes, I do have a calculator around here. Check this junk out. This is like really how math works. I'm going to type this in, and then I'm going to zoom in. This is literally how math works. I got to put a negative out front. Insert negative. There we go. Zoom in, 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 zoom in. There's the function. I'll focus. Oh, it's not focused. Zoom back out. There we go. Oh, come on, you. There we go. Now watch this. I graph this sucker. And you can see that parabola right there, hopefully. But then if I go to -1 for an x value, look at the, oh, did I type this in wrong? Oh, look what I did wrong. Look what I did wrong right there. What should that be? Should be a 5, yeah, -5. I typed in a 2. You ever get your 5s and 2s mixed up? Anyway, let's graph it. If I were to go to -1 now, there it is. Look at it blinking in all of its glory at the bottom of the screen. The input of -1, the output of -10. That is what function notation is. There is an input, it is evaluated, and then there is an output. You pour in purple paint, you should get a purple car. Later on in the year, I'm going to mention that, and people are going to be like, oh, yeah, he did say that. And then somebody who like just transferred in is going to be like, dude's nuts. Anyway, one more. Let's do one more here. Let's see. Not that one. Oh, this one. Yes. Yes. Last problem of the day. Last problem of the day. Hype. Number 4. I'm going to write this down, and then I'm going to flip the screen over so you can write down what you need. For number 4, they're telling you f of x equals 3x plus 2. You got it right? Nice. Well, like right here, it did say 9 people got it right, so it looks like just half or just over half. But due diligence, they want to know when f of x equals 17, what is x? Flip the screen over. Last problem of the day. Here we go. Now, I talked about inputs and outputs. The function is defined to be 3x plus 2. That is a linear equation. They're saying when f of x equals 17. Now, 17 is not the input. 17 is the output. 17 is the result. 17 is the purple car that came out of the machine. If I were to create an ordered pair x comma y, it would be something comma 17. 17 is the y value. 17 is equal to f of x. So in order to do this problem correctly, if 17 is the output, this is the proper way to set up the problem. This is the proper way to set up the problem. Now, we're not done yet because they want to know what is x, meaning we have to solve for x. I got to subtract 2. I got to divide by 3. I get an answer of 5. Can't see it. Zoom out. There we go. That's the basic understanding of like inputs and outputs that we got to recognize. What is an input? What is an output? Where do we put it? When do we put it? Math is like a million little rules all wrapped up into one tiny little ball, and we have to decipher it. It's like a rubber band ball, except you can't just like cut the rubber band ball in half. You have to be precise with how you're taking things off of it. I love it. You're going to find that, yeah, again, every tiny little thing about math just makes me happy. You're going to hate it at some point. Guarantee you will. You're going to hate my reactions to these things. I hope so. Anywho, this has been NPR Radio. The time is 11:05. The bell should be ringing in roughly 30 to 40 seconds. It's now time to almost log off. Now, I will give you the reminder. If you did not access your online textbook, please make sure that you do. And when you have successfully accessed your online textbook, make sure that you click to submit the assignment in Google Classroom. Don't forget your syllabus, as I've gotten most of the syllabuses back, but make sure that you submit that as well. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Oh, I'm going to sign off now for those of you in the chat.